What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We have finally made it. It is Daytona 500 week for NASCAR, the opening week of the NASCAR season. I know we had the Busch Clash 2 weeks ago, but this opens the regular season. This is a points race. This is the Super Bowl of NASCAR, the biggest race, I think, in all of motorsports. Many will argue the Indy 500. I don't want to hear that crap. It's, to me, the Daytona 500, which I will be attending for the first time ever. I'm super excited. I got my tickets, got my plane tickets, my hotel, the whole shebang. I am super, super, super excited for this weekend. It's just going to be amazing. We got great names in this thing, guys like Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana, young studs trying to get in like Zane Smith, Austin Hill. We've got Kyle Busch on a new team. We've got Tyler Reddick on a new team. Ryan Preece on a new team, given an opportunity. Kevin Harvick in his final Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin, a superstar, going for his fourth Daytona 500. I mean, man, there is just so much here. And I'm going to try to break it all down in the sense of the betting world. 2 weeks ago, we had Martin Truex Jr. winning the Busch Clash. We won that bet. We started off hot. Little week in between to give us a regroup, a refresh, and now we're back ready for the Daytona 500. Man, just this is going to be great. I shouldn't be betting a lot, but unfortunately I am, because I'm going to be there. And I mean, I don't know, when you're there, I feel like the days I was going back and forth, because it's like, do I just want to be there and enjoy it? I really was close to like having that mindset. Let me just be there and enjoy the race. But then I was like, no, like, what if I hit one of those big ones? And this is the race that you can hit one of the big ones. Being a super speedway, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at Michael McDowell 2 years ago, Cindric last year. You can hit the big one. You can definitely hit the big one. And so I thought, you know what? Let's make it even more fun. Let's go literally crazy betting. So what I'm gonna do first is just take you through some of the early bets I made, and really show you the value that you really can get at these super speedways. So Priest I locked in early, and these are small bets to win big. Again, you can do that with stuff like this. You can bet small to win big. I've always said that. I use that line a lot when doing super speedways. Bet small to win big. Priest locked in at plus 6,600. His odds have shot in half. Austin Hill, which we'll talk about, plus 7,500. He's still at that number. I really like that, but we'll get into it. Kyle Busch at plus 2,000. I think he's down to 1,200. Zane Smith, you could get at plus 25,000. He's not even close to that number anymore. Let's keep scrolling through. AJ Allmendinger plus 5,000. I believe he's close to around plus 3,500, something like that. Justin Haley plus 5,000. I believe he's down. Gilliland plus 15,000. I mean, again, that's a $3 bet will win you $450. So, that's just small stuff. Corey LaJoy, $4 bet to win 400. That's plus 10,000. This is just stuff that, if you can find it early, you can get it. Then I did some more with Kyle Busch, which again I'll talk about. But just wanted to bring that up because it's really cool to look at the value and how the odds change from when they first drop to where we are now. So if you were able to lock in some bets, I hope you found the value that I was speaking of there, because again, that is where, when those things first come out and the Daytona 500 odds first drop, that's where you can really make some good money. And again, I mean, it doesn't have to be, if you're just starting out, and you just kind of want to experience betting and learn about it, Bets like that, your $1 to $25 bets on stuff like that. Great way to start, especially for the Daytona 500. So that's some of the value we were able to get early on. But now let's get into the value that I think is still on the board here. So I'm going to start with the guy that I've said a lot on the offseason is my Daytona 500 pick. It would be his first career Daytona 500, but man, I saw him wheel it at the Busch Clash 2 weeks ago. I think the motivation for this driver is at an all-time high, starting with a new team, being Richard Childress racing, when so many people have counted him out, saying that, he's kind of washed up. I don't think he is. This man is Kyle Busch. You can get him now at plus 1,200. I think that's still a great number. Like I said, I was able to lock him in at plus 2,000, which I thought was great value. Plus 1,200, I would have liked something a little bigger, especially with a guy that's never won a Daytona 500 and hasn't really won at a super speedway in a while now. But I just, man, I really think it's going to be a resurgent year for Kyle Busch, and I think it starts here plus 1,200. Kevin Harvick plus 2,500. That is a great, great bet that you can get right now. Harvick's last Daytona 500. Man, what a script, what a swan song, if you will, it would be for Kevin Harvick if he were to go out and win his final Daytona 500. He's won one before in 2007. I think this would be the story that a lot of people could rally around. Kevin Harvick plus 2,500. I love that bet. I do. I think that number is insane that you can get that at. Another guy that I think is going to shock a lot of people and have one of those up and down years. I think he starts off hot. His name is William Byron. The thing about Byron last year, the consistency wasn't there. It wasn't there at the right times. The year before, same thing. The consistency sort of was there, but when it mattered most, it really wasn't. I like William Byron here at plus 1,800. He really has never performed well at the 500. But this is a guy that has won 3 super speedway races in his career, 2 being at Daytona. If you remember 2 years back, he clinched his way into the playoffs. Hendrick cars are always very strong here. I would definitely lock in some pole bets if you can for the Hendrick cars. They're always up front, starting up front. And I like Byron here in this position. I think, again, he's going to have one of those up and down years, but he'll be in the playoffs. And he started strong last year. I hope it's the same thing here. I hope he starts strong with a nice Daytona 500 win for us. So plus 1,800 for Byron. Another guy I just threw on here. I don't really have the most confidence in him, but I have super huge respect for his spotter, Tyler Mon, who was on this show a couple months back. So I'm going to be rooting for Larson and that team. It's the huge thing that is still left for Tyler Mon, spotter of Kyle Larson, to really beef up, I guess, if you will, that resume that he's already built up, with so many wins in a championship. But he has circled the Daytona 500 now for a while, and I'll be rooting for Tyler and that team. So got to throw a little bet on Larson. I do like Larson for the pole. I think that's a great bet. If you don't think Larson is going to perform well, which he hasn't really recently at super speedways, I think a pole bet is a great bet for Larson. I believe started front row last year. So again, Hendrick has been on the pole a lot. I think the last 7 years, they've been, a Hendrick car has started up front or on the pole. So Alex Bowman is a guy that, if I think he's got some crazy streak going for most consecutive front row starts for the Daytona 500. So those Hendrick guys, I definitely would look at taking a pole bet for. Like I said, I'm going to be making a bet on Larson, rooting for him. So yeah, I just had to add that one in. Dark horse candidates. So I put those guys as the stars: Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, William Byron. And I guess you could throw Larson in there. Then we've got the dark horse category. Let's start with Ryan Preece, plus 3,500. This dude is a sneaky good super speedway racer. has a really, really good average finish at super speedways. So I just saw that guy go out and lead a lot of laps at the Busch Clash in his, he in his first real true test in a good solid ride, he goes out and puts on a show. I think his motivation is at an all-time high. I like Ryan Preece in this spot at plus 3,500. If you don't want to take him for the win, in the dark horse category, you can also be looking at top tens and top fives for good value there. So Ryan Preece, you can find him in the top 10 value as well. Justin Haley plus 5,000. He's one of the best super speedway drivers in all of NASCAR. He's going to have I believe extra practice time. I think he's running the Xfinity race the day before, so he's going to get to see what the track feels like. I know it's a different car, but again, when you pair experience with a really good super speedway driver in NASCAR, let's not forget this guy was leading here before the rain the last time we were at Daytona. It's a contract year, it's a prove it year for Justin Haley, and if he is who we think he is on super speedways, I think he's going to have a really good finish. Again, if you don't want to take him for the win, definitely look at top tens, top fives for Haley. Austin Hill plus 7,500, another stud. Put him in that Justin Haley category, another stud super speedway driver. This value is insane. I really think it's insane to get Austin Hill. This is a $10 bet would win you 750 for a guy that has proved he can win on this track and he can win at super speedways. He's done it in a truck. He's done it in an Xfinity car, had a really good season last year in the Xfinity series, winning a few of those super speedways in that series last year. He's got a shot here and I like him. Definitely. Oh, you have to put a top 10 on him. Absolutely. The winning bet, I mean, again, there's just great value. So why not put something small on him? I really like him in this spot. And then finally, I got AJ Allmendinger, the other Cowlick driver, plus 4,000. I like the value here to win for him, but I also think he's going to have a really good, solid run. He seems to always be there when it counts in terms of, I guess, recent super speedway racing. He also recently in super speedways, he rarely DNFs. Like he rarely DNFs. He DNF'd in 2021 at Talladega. But other than that, he has not DNF'd at a super speedway. That's Talladega, that's Daytona, that's Atlanta twice last year. So I mean, this is a guy that just like I said, he's kind of always there when it counts. I feel like as he's gotten more mature in the car, he's learned to be patient and he's got two top fives in his career in the Daytona 500 and one top 10. So again, this is a guy that has definitely shown that he can be there when it counts. And like I said, I like him for a good run. Seems not to DNF. Seems like he doesn't get in the trouble. So I like AJ Allmendinger in this spot. One to win and also for that top 10 or top five. So those are kind of the guys that I'm targeting. I think really my advice to you, again, I'll say it. I'm not doing it because I'm stupid, but you all should. Bet small to win big. And if you feel like you see somewhere where there's value on the board, let's say after qualifying, Kyle Busch does awful, right? Qualifies terrible. Maybe I don't know, has to go to a backup car, and now his odds drop all the way down to let's say plus 25, plus 3, something like that, plus 3,000. That's where the value is. You got to take a look at putting something on like that. Maybe it's Harvick, maybe it's Byron, maybe it's like a guy like Gillen, right? Who same thing, maybe has a terrible qualifying and then he goes all the way down to like plus 10,000 plus 15,000. I mean that's value. So my advice, definitely if you feel like in your heart of hearts that you see value on the board, I would take it because numbers like this when everybody has a shot and a chance to win, this doesn't come by very often. You're going to start to see once we get into the season, especially if you're new to NASCAR betting, you're going to start to see the odds are not like this every race. We're going to get to a road course and you're going to see a guy like Chase Elliott beat plus 400. You're going to see a guy like Kyle Larson at a road course be plus 600. And again, I mean, you're not going to find the value that you find at super speedways. So if you see it on the board, take it, bet small to win big. And let's just have a great Daytona 500. I hope we get a win. Always want to know what you guys think. Put your bets in the comments. Johnny on the track at Action Network. If I place anything post qualifying and post the duels, you'll see it on Johnny on the track on Action Network. You can also follow me on Twitter at JOTT_podcast for, additional bets and all my content. So appreciate you guys watching. Stick with me all year. I'm excited about this year. We started on a high. Let's keep it up. Let's start a nice streak to this season. And yeah, if you're new to watching the channel, make sure you subscribe for more content. Thanks.